Yeah, well, don't ever do that, all right? You can back me up all you want. I like that. I like having backup.
Oh, you like that?
But now when it comes to, weekly and monthly awards for professionals, because, here's what's going to happen tomorrow. The AFC Offensive Player of the Week was Derrick Henry. Yeah, okay, what's that get you? He was great last night.
He's amazing.
The next time your argument needs bolstering, let me know how to do it.
Well, we should talk before the show.
Okay.
And I'll say, listen, do me a solid. Bolster my argument. All right, do a little bolstering, but don't say this, say that.
Kid. Okay.
You're not a good bolsterer.
If he whipped out Jason,
I think you're an unappreciative bolsteree, to be honest with you.
If he whipped out Jameson Tyon's whip and ERA, would that really have been better for you?
I would pour my hot soup on his face.
Exactly.
That's what I would do.
So how the hell is he going to help you?
Yeah.
A bit harsh.
What's that? Is it
A bit
though?
harsh.
The average person doesn't sit in a bar ordering wings, watching a game going, what's this whip? What's this war? No, people don't do that. Sorry. So you get hot soup in the face.
What they do is they cite, he won Pitcher of the Month out one month.
Jameson Taillon was Pitcher of the Month of August.
So if someone does walk into that bar and says that, they throw hot soup in their face?
No, I don't know them, so I have no connection to them. I don't throw hot soup in a stranger's face.
If we're acting like people in bars, do you think hot soup is appropriate?
In someone's face?
Yes.
Not a random person, no.
Oh, so a friend, though.
A friend of mine, 100%.
Right, so at a bar,
having
drinks,
and
someone brings up ERA, hot soup in the face.
No, not ERA, whip and war.
Okay.
If you're like, Craig, Jameson Tyon's whip was boom, hot soup face.
And these are the two guys that agreed with each other, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, nice to meet you, face. I'm hot soup. That's right.
But when I get squad with hot soup, I suddenly disagree with people. I'm funny like that.
So when you back me up the right way. I can't have Fugazi backup. All right. Brian Cashman had an hour and 20-minute press conference today and said nothing about Garrett Cole. To his defense, nobody asked him about Garrett Cole.
Dude, I was sitting there with 3 Garrett Cole questions because I think he is, in fairness to something you've said throughout this show, he's one of those big questions going into next year. He has to be. It has to be a question. Is this our legitimate ace? Which Garrett Cole are we getting? Because if we're getting second-half Garrett Cole, that ain't good.
Do the New York Yankees need a frontline ace? I think they do. Frankly.
Yeah, but they can't.
They're not going to get one
on a top-level rock star shortstop, an all-star center fielder, and let's pay Max Scherzer $40 million a year.
Well, I don't know about right. I think the Yankees will spend in total value of contracts. So it'll be over the course of many years. I could see the New York Yankees easily spending $500 million this offseason.
In total contracts?
Yeah, total contract value.
The thing I wonder about is their payroll commitments are already very high. And so you say to yourself, okay, well, maybe Craig and Evan, they're going to trade some of their high-priced guys. Zach Britton's making $14 million next year. They're not able to trade him.
Right.
Aroldis Chapman is not going to be traded. Giancarlo Stanton, Garrett Cole are not going to be traded. So you already have,
by the way,
huge commitments.
Do you think you could trade Stanton off the year yet?
I think the contract is still very difficult to move.
No way, right?
There's only a handful of teams that would pay that contract. The L.A. Dodgers being one of them. And think about the decisions the Dodgers are going to have to make this offseason. They've got some key free agents. So as good as Stanton has been, right off the top, there's only 5 teams that could pay him. Or whatever the number you want to come up with.
I got you. I'm with you on that.
So
would you trade him? Just to dump the wood?
I would not, no.
Based on this past year, you think, okay, he's back.
And what was your answer in fairness, C-Mac, 5 months ago?
Well,
5 months ago, he was untradeable.
5 months,
right?
No?
He was untradeable.
Every Yankee fan will call up and tell you they've had no success. It's only about the postseason. He's been the best Yankee postseason player the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Without question.
Not
even
close.
Yeah. Too bad he couldn't hit the ball at Fenway, huh?
Oh, jeez.
That would have been nice.
The guy hit the ball
I'm just saying,
all over the place.
He would have 3 home runs in a postseason game for the Yankees. And who knows? I mean, they still might have lost the game because no one else was hitting the ball.
But by the way,
can you imagine if he hit all 3 of them?
C-Mac, here's the problem. I'm not criticizing you, but this is the problem with trading guys. Now that Giancarlo Stanton is coming off a really good year and a clutch year, now people don't want to trade him. Last year or 2 years ago, I'd never trade Gleyber for Torres. Now he's coming off a bad year. I'd trade Gleyber Torres. No one actually wants to trade people when they're good. And by the way, that's what the Rays do. And that's what they do so successfully. No Yankee fan wants to trade people when they're good. Now you want to trade Garrett Cole. Would you have said that a year ago?
No. Who wants to trade Garrett Cole?
Oh,
I do.
Craig Carton.
I do.
Wants to trade Garrett Cole.
He's untradeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not that good and he makes too much money.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, if they legislate spider tack at some level back into the game, I agree.
No,
I think he'll be great.
Even if they don't,
but
he'll
he's
be
not.
better. Even if they don't, he'll be better.
Why?
Because he couldn't make the adjustment on the fly. I think a full off-season, full
On the
spring
fly,
training
he
without
had 3
it.
months to make the adjustment.
Yeah, I know, but I just think he struggled with it.
That's embarrassing.
Okay?
That's absolutely embarrassing.
It is.
He can only be a top-line pitcher if he's
No.
got gooey crap on his fingers. Come on. That's a joke. That's obnoxious.
I didn't say
he
that's
had
the-
trouble adjusting to doing what something he's done since he's 5 years old.
He
baseball.
hasn't done it in years without the
So
enhancement.
what do you think Garrett Cole is now?
I think Garrett Cole is a serviceable number
come on.
3 starter.
Oh, my God,
He'll be
really?
better.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Wait, so specifically, in 2022, he makes every start. He throws 180, 190 innings. What's his ERA? Just give me a
4.
number. 4?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think Garrett Cole now has become a 4 ERA
That's
pitcher
right. I
because
do.
of spider tack? And
That's
you don't
right.
think the players and the owners are going to agree to anything?
That I can't answer.
Well, that's going to happen.
If the owners and players don't agree to spider tack being in the game, you've got a $300 million bust.
with a 4 ERA?
He's Ed Whitson.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
He's Ed Whitson.
He still had unbelievable starts. Post.
2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
over
no,
the course
but
of 3
3 or
months.
4, yeah. No, he was
C-Mac.
definitely worse. I can't argue he
C-Mac,
wasn't.
to back up Craig.
But it's not like he never succeeded without it.
That's not the point. I asked Craig a question. What would his ERA be over a full year? He said 4.
Right.
Since the spider tack ban went into place, yes, he had brilliant starts. What was his ERA?
Probably right
To
around
back
there.
up my guy,
Yeah.
it was 4. So no, he never said guy
Research.
can't make a dominant start.
I didn't.
Everybody can make a dominant start.
That's right.
Right.
I mean, do you want me to go on lists of guys who have made dominant? Dave Malicki made a dominant start. You recall that?
But I'm just
game?
saying, I think off a full offseason and a full spring training, not
may be
having
right.
to work with spider tack, he'll be better next
C-Mac,
year than he was the
I
end of
don't-
this year.
I don't actually
along
di-
with the hamstring injury.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just quoting the whole, well, he had some dominant starts. Well, over the course of the sample size of now there's a ban, he had a 4 ERA.
Right.
I don't give a rat's ass about a couple of dominant starts. He had a 4 ERA.
My point is, it's not as though he can't pitch without the spider
But can
tack.
he do
the
it
dominant
on a
starts?
can
I
he
understand.
do it on a consistent basis?
We'll have to find that out. But
The
the
answer's
idea
no.
that you know he can't,
He can't.
I think the argument to be made when you have seen it is something to say.
I don't know what Garrett Cole is. See, I happen to think that they are going to work something out where pitchers
Are gonna have something.
going to have something. And so I think Garrett Cole's going to be fine. That's how I would phrase it. So I
You
disagree
guys
with
are
you.
both smoking some kind of sour diesel I've never seen before.
Well, I just think
He's
they're gonna
gonna be
make-
fine.
well, 'cause I think they're gonna
The
make a
guy's
deal.
making $36 million a year. He's going to be fine.
Well, fine.
Fine.
You know what fine is?
He better have an ERA hover around 2.
Low 3.
Yeah. Oh, low 3.
Low 3.
Ugh.
What do you mean, heck?
Yeah.
That's not good enough
That's
for
what
you?
he gets. He gets the gas
If
face.
Garrett Cole-
He's primarily responsible for the fact that I'm watching the Boston Red Sox playing postseason baseball midway through October and not the New York Yankees because he didn't show up in the big spot. And the big spot is how legacies are made.
I agree.
Right?
And that's the answer. Like, even if he had
Right.
a low 3
Right.
ERA, the truth is the answer that C-Mac and any Yankee fan should give would be, well, what does he do in the big spot in the playoffs?
Yeah.
If he blows up, I don't care what his ERA was. If he's dominant, then great. He's a man.
Dominant. The guy couldn't get into the 3rd inning of a playoff game.
By the way,
Ugh.
what pitcher can these days?
Ugh.
It's embarrassing.
Ugh. Gotta vomit in my mouth and swallow it. If I think of Garrett Cole, cheerleading in the dugout. Strike somebody out. Yuck. That's what he was, a big fat yuck. 877-337-6666. Carton Roberts, Castro. Aaron Boone coming up at 5 o'clock right here on The Fan. We are coming to you live from the Town Fair Tire.
Carton Roberts is presented by Grubhub. Grubhub guarantees your food will get to you on time within the delivery window and for the lowest price compared to other apps, or you'll get at least $5 in perks. Grubhub works hard to serve restaurants.
In New York City, nothing is guaranteed. There's no guarantee those new sneakers are going to stay fresh. Hey, man, there's no guarantee that all that rent money will get you more than just a closet. And there's no guarantee you get a seat anywhere near a TV on game day. But the one thing that is guaranteed is your Grubhub. With the new Grubhub guarantee, get your food delivered at the lowest price and on time, guaranteed, or they'll make it right. Thank you. Grubhub for the win, every time.
I need to try it first. There's got to be a better way. At Good To Go Insurance, you can get coverage with as little as $20 down, despite your driving record. Get an online quote for a low monthly payment in less than a minute. Save money by only paying for the coverage you need and get proof of insurance on the spot. Visit goodtogo.com and get coverage fast, cheap, and easy. That's goodtogo.com.
Take the stage at hardrockcasino.com. Hit the perfect spin and win that jackpot. Join now, get 50 free spins, and take up to $1,000 welcome bonus. Download the Hard Rock Casino app today.
The holidays are back, and so is Blinds To Go's big sale, just in time to get your home ready for the holidays. Right now, save up to 25% on all blinds, shades, drapes, and shutters. Brighten up your home for the holidays. Blinds To Go, we make it easy.
It's 3 a.m. I need a taquito. What do you want? If you want it, we can get it from the 7-Eleven. Pizza, pickle, dryer sheets, pickles, tall boys, doggy treats. We don't need it, but let's get it from the 7-Eleven. Slurpee, light bulbs, antifreeze. Here's your order, nacho cheese. If you want it, we can get it from the 7-Eleven. I'll meet you in heaven. Tip you, driver.
The holidays are back, and so is Blinds To Go's big sale, just in time to get your home ready for the holidays. Right now, save up to 25% on all blinds, shades, drapes, and shutters. Brighten up your home for the holidays. Blinds To Go, we make it easy.
2020, cardboard cutouts claim their place as legitimate New York sports fans.
Whoa! Did you catch that walk-off home run in the 10th? Right into the stands.
Oh, yeah. I caught it all right.
That was you.
In the flesh.
It looks really good.
Really?
No.
SNY, every team for every fan from every device.
Get your New York sports here.
Puck drops, Connecticut ice begins. Locked off the post, and there it goes. It's in for UConn, and a goal. Sacred Heart scores again. Now chance for Quinnipiac, a shot, and a score.
High-flying, in-your-face hockey tonight.
Sacred Heart takes the lead. And it's the Huskies who are on the board first. A score! Into the net it goes for Quinnipiac.
Dear America, I'm revving up to say, I'll always go the extra mile for you. With the latest tech and all-wheel drive. Thank you for making me the best-selling car in America. Be well, Camry.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost service plan with tire rotations, oil changes, and more for 2 years or 25,000 miles. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
First, there was Vegas, then Atlantic City. Now, your pocket. DraftKings has an online casino where you can play your favorite games whenever and wherever you want. Slots, blackjack, and more. New casino players can get a deposit bonus up to $2,000 plus free casino credits. Download the app or visit us online. Try DraftKings Casino today with our exclusive offer and experience the casino floor like never before.
I gained 53 pounds.
Did she say gain weight?
I gained 53 pounds with CB1 Weight Gainer.
That's right. Introducing CB1 Weight Gainer, the weight gain pill.
I've been skinny most of my life.
CB1 Weight Gainer totally changed my life.
CB1 Weight Gainer is a safe, effective, and patented weight gain pill.
I searched and searched online, and I finally found CB1 Weight Gainer. It took me only 3 months to gain 30 pounds.
I went from 150 to 175 in just 3 months.
All in all, I gained 53 pounds, and I'm super pumped.
I look and feel better than ever.
Gain the weight you want or your money back guaranteed. Order today and we'll include the exclusive Weight Gain Guidebook, a $19.99 value free. Call now and we'll also upgrade your order to rush processing, a $6.99 value absolutely free. That's right. Save over $25 when you call or visit CB1WeightGainer.com now.
In 2020, cardboard cutouts claim their place as legitimate New York sports fans.
Game for Danny Dimes in the Meadowlands. Is he
what a game. The G-Men rule New York. Very funny, Brad. Real original.
SNY. Every team for every fan from every device.
Get your New York sports here.
In 2020, cardboard cutouts claimed their place as legitimate New York sports fans.
Whoa! Did you catch that walk-off home run in the 10th? Right into the stands.
Oh, yeah. I caught it all right.
That was you.
In the flesh.
It looks really good.
Really?
No.
SNY. Every team for every fan from every device.
Get your New York sports here.
My MSG login, you could have watched it.
I was watching football last night.
I was watching football too, but when I notice on Twitter, hey, overtime, the 3-on-3 is very entertaining. It was very entertaining, and it was an insane few minutes. It was great television.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was distracted.
Why did you tweet that at Boomer about, hey, great win, that was exciting, when you didn't watch any of it?
Because I saw that they won 2-1 in overtime, and I was like, that must have been a great game. And then I got people calling me, oh, yeah, it's so hypocritical of you. Now you're a Ranger fan because they're winning. I'm like, you don't get it at all, dude, you know?
No.
I'm putting together my sexiest videos of all time list. And I think I'm going to put Britney Spears' Toxic on that list. Either Toxic or Slave for You.
Yeah,
But she's going to have a spot on the Mount Rushmore.
Oh, she has
sexiest music videos
Back
of all
in the
time.
day? Absolutely.
Yeah. I was watching Toxic during the break there, and I got a little distracted. I apologize for that. So, I'm sorry. Brian Cashman's here to stay, and Aaron Boone's back. I thought it was another good question someone asked him, and we'll get into this with him as well. You know, I had the thought that you bring him back on a 2-year deal. Or a 1 year with an option type of deal. Now, I respect why you don't do the 1-and-1 because he's lame duck from jump, and that's no way to work. You can't do that because then every guy that's on your staff is, in theory, looking over your shoulder as a potential replacement. So I thought about it last night saying it made most sense to me if they brought him back, 2-year deal, 1-year option, team option. Like, why go to a 3rd year? And I thought it was interesting that Aaron Boone said, I didn't care what the deal was. Like, if they had offered me 1, 2, 3, 4.
He wasn't married to a 3-year deal.
Yes, that wasn't like his, negotiating, this is my.
Think about.
What's the word I'm looking for? My deal breaker.
Right.
Like, he would have signed a 2-year deal.
Yeah, but you know why that benefits the Yankees?
Yeah, if he's successful, they got him on the quote-unquote cheap.
Remember when Joe Girardi, before the Yankees moved on from him, became a quote-unquote free agent? I think it was after the 12th season or the 13th season.
He was going to go to Chicago, right?
Chicago and Washington. Those were the 2 hot teams. and Joe Girardi had leverage. Like, the Yankees wanted Joe Girardi back. He was a respected managerial candidate, and Joe Girardi was a hot commodity. Aaron Boone could get to that point. I mean, if the Yankees are in the ALCS or in the World Series or win a World Series and he takes it to, quote, free agency, it would be a risk for the Yankees to allow that to happen. And like we said, they're not paying him that much right now in terms of grand view of what the Yankees pay players. So if things are disastrous and the Yankees decide to move on from Boone, it's not like they're moving on from Jacoby Ellsbury's contract.
Right. No, it's a bit over $1 million. Like, it's a lot of money for us. It's not a lot of money for them.
Right.
Like, literally, it's tip money. No, I assume that Hal's a good tipper, but I could be wrong about that too.
You never know.
A lot of wealthy people don't tip at all.
That's how they have all their wealth.
That's how they maintain their wealth. Yeah. Here's Milton in Brooklyn on the fan. Milt, what's
if you
up?
order, just get me hot chicken pork.
I'll take the hot chicken too. I'll make it 2 orders of that.
Listen, guys. This is driving me crazy. This is all about the owner's view of how this team's success is now. It's all that. Forget about the man. You could get any manager with this team. It doesn't matter. It's the owner. His father made it uncomfortable for people to not be happy unless they won.
Right.
So a lot of people, when they were winning, and I met players and I talked to players and people that worked there, even when they won in that organization, at times they weren't happy because it was so much pressure to win because the owner made it that way. So this kid grew up seeing his father have people hate him behind the scenes, talking about his father. Okay, so now the son, his goal is to make everybody happy. If we make the playoffs,
I don't think that's an accurate description. I don't.
Listen, Cashman loves it because now he gets to say, "Listen, I make the playoffs every year." Well, Cashman, how can't you?
Milton, you're right about Brian Cashman probably loving it, but I wouldn't go like let's analyze why Hal is Hal. Hal's different than George.
Right, and that's not necessarily bad.
No, Craig, you're not exactly the same as your dad. I'm not exactly the same as my dad. We don't all come out as carbon copies of our dad. And so Hal's different. Hank, when he was around, was different than Hal. Brothers aren't always the same. Hank had a lot more George in him. So I don't think it's this Hal watched George and said, I need to be different than my dad. He just is different than his dad.
Yeah, and people, this happens always when people pass away or there's a certain amount of time kind of, invades the memory from the reality of things. A lot of you people have this notion of George Steinbrenner that while he was living and doing all the things he was doing, you despise the man. Like, he's more appreciated now in his passing and in, I guess, the lack of World Series than he was when he was running roughshod over everyone in his path. Like, George Steinbrenner, I have great respect for him and his success and his single-minded view of win, 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 win. Mm-hmm. And I do think fan bases ultimately adore that and want that for all their owners of their respective teams. But it wasn't always successful either. The notion that George Steinbrenner showed up in New York and they won a World Series every year is a faulty narrative.
Yeah, but the thing that changed
You just want change for change's sake.
No, but also, here's the other thing that we have to keep in mind about that. And you're obviously not wrong. George was suspended by baseball. Gene Michael was able to build that Yankee dynasty team with George not being there. All that's true. You're not wrong. But let's think about ages. Let's think about how old everybody is. I'm 38 years old. My memory of George Steinbrenner is the good George Steinbrenner.
Sure.
Not the guy firing Billy Martin every 5 minutes, but the guy spending money to win championships every year. I'm 38 years old. If you are in my age demographic, your view of George didn't change when he died. Your view of George is what it was.
Sure.
Because the end of George, like the late 90s on, he was beloved by Yankee fans.
Yes, as he got older and his health started to deteriorate, he was appreciated more. And also it coincided with the greatest run since the 1950s. Right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Right.
So it isn't just we're remembering him differently. For my age, for C-Mac's age, this is what we remember. As a Met fan, I wanted George to own my team.
See, and the greatest George moment is the one you reference a lot. And that is, you want to tell the moment? When they lose a World Series?
Yes.
And what happens?
2001. I'll never forget this. 2001. They lost Game 7 to the Diamondbacks.
And
They
by the
just
way,
won 3
sorry to
straight
interrupt
titles.
you. Cashman came out today and referenced that World Series. And referenced how
Andy Pettitte was tipping his pitches in Game 6.
his pitches, and the Yankees had no idea.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was fascinating. No, I'm glad you brought that up.
I couldn't believe that came out of nowhere.
Well, it was interesting because he was kind of
He's talking about Game 6, Yankee Stadium, Game 6, Arizona.
And Andy Pettitte got destroyed. The Yankees lost that game. You could correct me on the final score. 14-2. Like, I'm not even kidding. 13-2. Andy Pettitte got killed, and I admit this. Whenever anyone cites Andy Pettitte as the greatest big game pitcher of all time, I say, yeah, he threw a lot of big games. What about Game 6 of the 01 World
Well, it
Series?
turns out he was tipping his pitches, and the Diamondbacks knew about it. Cashman said that today at the press conference.
Yeah, well, he said that's why information's important.
Yes.
That's what they're trying to get. And I'd love if we could find the audio, because I'll never forget it. Right after they lost Game 7, they had just been to 4 consecutive World Series. They had won 3 of them. And George said, I vow to you, we will get better and we will be back. Like, he is talking as if this is a team on a drought. They haven't sipped a championship in decades. And that was the moment. I mean, I always knew George was great at that point, but that's when I looked at that guy and said, I want him to own my team.
Yeah, of course. That's right. 3 World Series wins in 4 years. And when they lose a Game 7, that emotional series where no home team lost a single game, obviously right after 9/11 and all the things that meant and what New York meant to everybody in the country, he comes out afterwards and goes, unacceptable.
And what did he do? He didn't just use words. What you going to do about it?
He wrote a
backed
check.
it up. He wrote a check and signed Jason freaking Giambi. Now, we could argue how it worked and all that. That's irrelevant. He, after 4 straight, and that's why I get why the Yankee fan says I miss George. I get it.
Yeah.
Because stories like that are legendary 20 years later.
Yeah.
They're
He also
legendary.
has one of the great lines I've ever heard that I try to live my life by, and that is, if you do another person a favor and 3 people know about it, you did it for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Which is why when he passed, so many people, like regular, average, everyday people, came out of the woodwork saying, he paid my mortgage. He paid for my kids to go to school. He helped me with my utility bills. He did this, he did that, and nobody ever knew about it.
That's right.
How about that?
That's right. It's very true.
I heard, actually, Bill Parcells has done that for people without anyone knowing about it.
Yeah. Well, you know who else has done that? We mentioned it recently, as much as we've been ripping the guy recently, Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving is one of the most charitable guys in the league.
No doubt.
Yeah, and doesn't do it for the wrong reason.
Doesn't do it for publicity.
Yeah.
Doesn't do it for attention. And I always try to do that myself. I try to say to myself,
is that
"You're gonna
right?"
do yeah. I did something recently, and I clicked anonymous on it, so no one would ever know. And you won't even know. But I felt good about it.
You
And
did?
Yes.
You made a donation to a charity.
I'm not going to talk about
Obviously,
what I did.
you went on one of those...
I'm not going to talk about what I did.
What's the thing called? You went on one of those sites where people are like, hey, I've got a situation. Like, I know I put one out because my wife's cousin was hit by a car and had this terrible accident, and they need money for medical bills.
Yes.
You donated.
I'm not going to get into the specifics
What's it called?
of what I did.
GoFundMe?
Yeah, GoFundMe. Yeah. GoFundMe.
But that's the key. That's the real trick. So
That's very nice of you. I'll tell them.
No, don't say, I'm not saying
I'm going to let them know you're a very generous guy. Would you
Stop.
get $50?
So if you're ever going to go to a GoFundMe,
yeah,
they give it, or charity, any kind of charity, they give you the option, do you want to be anonymous?
Of course you do.
You say yes.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't because they want you to see what they gave.
But that's the point.
Which is so dirty.
That's the point. If you click anonymous, no one will ever know. No one will ever know.
Yeah.
And that's the point of doing something good, like George used to say.
Yeah. Yeah. How much did you give?
I'm not talking about anything. That's the whole point of this. It's private.
Nice. Listen.
Yeah, yes, you brought it up.
You did.
No, but I didn't specify what it was.
Yeah, but obviously
you did
it's
tell
charity.
everyone, you did tell everyone you did something good that you feel good
You
about.
just told 1 million people
You
that
did
you
tell
made a
it.
donation to
You
charity.
told all- it's not all right. So
Well, didn't George do the same thing? By saying,
No.
you don't tell anybody what you did? It's the same thing.
yeah, but you just told everyone.
did.
But you don't know what I did.
Yes,
And
you
don't know-
obviously wrote a check or made it. You gave some
Yeah, but-
charity money,
Yeah,
which
but
is
we know
great.
it's good and we know you're proud
No,
of
no,
it.
no, no.
Yeah.
You don't know what I did or how many times I did it or how much I
Doesn't
like
matter.
doing it.
We
You
know
have
that you
no
did
idea.
it
It
now.
doesn't matter.
But that's
So
what,
you're
that's
saying-
so different than what George said.
So you're saying I spoil the whole
Yeah,
thing?
and trying to make an example, you completely went the opposite way.
Crap.
we now
I
know
screwed
that
up.
you're charitable,
I
which
actually
is
didn't-
great.
I didn't do it, actually.
But
I'm
you did
just
it for the
kidding.
wrong reason.
No, I'm
Evan,
kidding.
you're a good
Yes.
man, Evan.
Yeah. So
But
now you want the pat on the back?
That reminds
you.
me of the Friends episode where Phoebe and Joey are going back and forth on can you do something nice if it's not selfish. Do you remember this whole thing? And Phoebe's point was everything you do,
what are we doing?
You're doing for a selfish reason.
Okay.
Everything. No matter how nice of a gesture you make, you're doing it for a selfish reason.
Because it makes you feel good about yourself.
That was the end. That's where Phoebe's like, see? You did it selfishly because you feel good about it.
Well, Aaron Boone said, even though my best friend got fired, I'm not leaving in solidarity. Do you know anyone in your life that would do that?
Who would leave in solidarity?
That would say, listen, if you don't bring him back, I'm not coming back. Because Aaron Boone, in theory, had that choice. And he said I wouldn't be here if I had to make that choice. Because the Yankees were getting rid of Phil Nevin. So Aaron Boone had a choice. I can make a stand with my best bud. And in solidarity, I'm no longer the Yankee manager. I'm not sure how that benefits him. It wouldn't, obviously. You'd like to think you'd get another gig, but what's better than the Yankee job?
Do you think Phil Nevin as a friend would allow that?
No, I don't.
And I think that's the other aspect of it. I don't think the other person, if they're truly a friend, would allow you to throw your career away just so you can show your loyalty.
Right. Phil Nevin would have said to him, listen, if they want to re-up you, you take their money and you stay there.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm going to be good. I'll get another coaching job. Even if I don't, I'm fine. Don't throw away managing the New York Yankees.
Right.
And if Phil Nevin didn't say that, he's a bad friend.
I agree with you on that. So there you go. Because you asked me would I leave, right? But now that changed the whole dynamic.
What did I say?
You're like, how come you wouldn't do that for me?
Well, there's a couple of differences.
But
Number one,
now you're saying that you would tell me don't do it. You got to support your family.
Well, first of all,
I'll be fine. Sirius is around the corner.
I hate to say this, but this is true. While I like you, Craig, we are not best friends.
That's on you.
No, that's on me.
Yeah.
It's on both of us.
That's more on you
I
than me.
definitely consider you a friend, but you're not my best friend.
Because you never call. You don't text much.
What are you talking
about? You don't include me in your life.
I do.
Yeah.
I invited you to come over the house a few weekends
30
ago.
other people.
Only about 15 other people, right, Thomas?
He was there too?
Yeah.
I was there, yeah.
How'd he get there? He doesn't have a car.
He took the train.
Metro North.
Oh, who picked him up at the train station?
I have no idea.
Not you.
Uber?
You're not a good friend.
Oh, so I needed to leave my own get-together to pick him up? You know what I did, though?
If he's a good friend, you pick him up at the train station.
You know what I did? And Thomas will tell you. At 9 o'clock at night, I dropped him off.
That's nice of you.
Was that a nice
How
gesture?
far away from the train station?
15 minutes, maybe? 10 minutes?
Anthony's in Hackensack. We got Aaron Boone coming up in 20 minutes. Of course, that's the big news today, that Aaron Boone's back, 3-year contract, 1-year option, and we're going to run this whole bad boy back again next year. What do you got, Ant?
Hey, guys, love the show.
Thank you.
Hey, Craig, I got to come to your defense. You're forgetting a big move that Cashman made this year. Clay Holmes. He might have been statistically better than
100%.
No,
Clay Holmes had a very good year.
Anthony, that's a great point. That's a great point. He made
was
my whole point wasn't he didn't make any good moves. It was just that the negative outweighed the positives. But you're right. That's a definite one to bring up.
Trying to help Craig out there. He forgot one. I was just trying
That's all
to
right.
I appreciate that. I like having the callers on my side. We're like a gang.
And by the way, that trade turns out to be so important because when you look at next year, you've already eliminated right off the top Zach Britton. Now, obviously, they're very different kind of relievers. I get that. But they're going to need bullpen depth going into next year. And Clay Holmes is now a guy that you've got in that mix to supply that.
Right. Clay Holmes was fantastic. Yep, you're right about that.
He was great.
Good job, Anthony. Way to have my back,
And
kiddo.
he was great in the wild card game. One of the few guys, and we sort of forget that because they lost. But how important was Clay in that wild card game?
He was huge. He had a good run. Other than the one game where they brought him back for the second inning.
Baltimore with the wild pitches?
Yeah. Outside of that. It's so funny how, I always say, you typically disagree with me, and it turns out that I'm wrong and you're right in this. Like, I don't pay much attention to, the bad loss in April. Or like, the Minnesota game when Chapman gives up the Donaldson home run and blows the lead. Or, hell, even the Angels game when they put a 7 spot on Ohtani in the first and somehow lost the game, right? Because you're like, it's just a game. Come on, like, we're fine.
And then what happens?
And all of a sudden you're sitting there, and you're begging for a win in Toronto. Please, just one win is all we need. Come
Exactly.
on, man.
That's why, do me a favor. I'm going to preemptively say this. If I come in tomorrow in a bad mood because we couldn't take care of business in Milwaukee tonight, It may come and matter in April when we're a half game behind the Bucks for the 1 seed.
Yeah.
All right?
But you're probably the kind of guy that's going to hedge that the way you typically do. So you'll come in here either buying us lunch miserable or you'll be thrilled and have no money in your pockets.
You think I'm betting big on tonight's net Buck game?
I don't like to discuss wagering, but I know you're a hedger, and I know there's no doubt in my mind that you've put your lunch money on the Bucks
Here's
tonight.
what I will say.
There's no doubt about it.
Here's what I will say, and you could call me crazy for thinking this. That's fine. I really, really, really want to win tonight. I really want to stick it to those guys.
It's a regular season game.
Yeah, it's more than a regular season game.
Yeah.
This is the team that ended our season. This is the team that are getting rings. And this is the team that, to me, only has a championship because we allowed it. All right? So, yeah, the game matters tonight. The game is a big deal tonight to me.
You going to watch the ring ceremony?
I want the guys to watch the ring ceremony.
Wonder what if?
Well, look. I know what if,
but
I want it to haunt them. I want that to be the motivation for the next 7-8 months as we try to bring New York City what it deserves, a championship.
New York City doesn't need you doing that for us.
We're going to do it for you.
We're fine and dandy with our Knicks
and
our Yankees and our Mets and our Jets and our Giants.
Listen, those teams,
we're good.
Craig, I love the Jets. I'm a diehard fan. Those teams are not supplying New York City with what they need and what they miss.
Well,
there is one team that can. And whether you like it or you don't like it or you're jealous of it or whatnot, there's one team that can, and we here. Ooh, did I steal your phrase?
You can have that phrase. That phrase, I hate that phrase. I don't like it. Did you hear the R.J. Barrett phrase a couple days ago?
Which one was that?
Been ready.
Oh, yeah.
Someone said, are you ready to take like the next step of your career? You know, this is a big year for R.J. Barrett, obviously. You know, he's now no longer a rookie. He's not a second-year guy trying to find his way. This is where you become a legitimate NBA above-average player who's going to command big wood, or you're just a guy that, you know, is an afterthought and maybe you get 8 minutes a game. And they said, are you ready? And R.J. Barrett looked at the camera and said, been ready. Doesn't mean a damn thing tomorrow night.
I give him this.
But he's been ready.
He looks like he's been ready.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. And I saw Julius Randle was asked, what do you think tomorrow night's going to be like, the home opener at the Garden? And he said, chaos.
It's going to be sold-out chaos.
Well, right now it's not sold out. There's a lot of tickets available.
No, that's impossible.
I'm telling you.
No, are you looking on the secondary market or
I'm
actual
looking
primary?
No. I'm looking straight up from the Garden. There's plenty of tickets available. I've got extra tickets I can't even sell.
Do the Knicks fans know that we open tomorrow? We got a game. It counts. Counts. No, that game would be a sellout.
I think it will be eventually, but I was surprised that, like, right now I'm on, and it is straight up from the Garden, from Ticketmasters. Tons of tickets available.
Tons of tickets available?
Yeah, I'll show you a map.
All over Decker now?
No. All over the place. I'll show you a map if you're that curious.
So you can't sell yours then?
I'm struggling.
Are you trying to sell yours?
Well, I have 2 extras. I have my season tickets where I'm
4.
going, and I bought 2 before I ever became a season ticket holder, and I can't move them. At least for face value. I'm going to have to go below face value.
I
can't believe that. For opening night against the Celtics?
Why don't you give them to the guys for free? Let them enjoy the opening night game of the Garden.
I'm taking Thomas to the game.
Oh, you going now?
Yeah, no, I was always
going. I thought you were trying to sell them.
No, I have extras is what I'm saying.
You're selling the extras?
Yeah.
Got it.
Because initially I didn't know I was going to be a season ticket holder, so I bought the tickets for myself to go. Now I have extras. So me and Thomas are going.
Do you feel like you should disinvite him after his performance today? Like he should learn a lesson?
I was thinking about it. It went through my mind, but I sort of feel bad.
You do?
Yeah, I feel bad.
Like puppy dog bag? Like, wow.
Yeah.
Like give him some newspaper to go to the bathroom on?
Kind of. And I know he really, really wants to go, and he'll have a good time, and he really wants that Garden popcorn, so I can't take it away from him.
Breaking news this just in. The NFL has just announced again that after reviewing 653,000 emails, there was a single email sender named John Gruden who sent something objectionable. They also claim that they didn't hear the audio last night of Stephon Diggs calling someone an effing bitch multiple times on microphone.
Yeah, but it's on a... Well, hold on.
Okay, that's allowed. No problem with that.
Do you think that doesn't exist?
Well, I'm just saying.
It's trash talk on a field.
On microphone, I'm just saying.
That's on the
microphone. That never
microphones.
happened yesterday.
That's on the TV networks for airing that.
Did you guys hear that last night or no? You guys missed it.
No.
Missed it completely.
I missed it
completely.
There you go.
And I watched the game. I missed it.
Effing B. Multiple times.
Were you offended?
No, not at all. I figured they're football players. Just probably you hear a lot worse than that. Like if NFL Films ever actually released the sideline or on-field audio, which they do have, by the way, that they're not allowed to release without permission of the NFLPA and the NFL, you would shudder at the things you hear.
No, I expect that.
Yeah. Shudder.
And I don't think we necessarily need to police this.
Which supposedly, the reason that the taunting laws are in the NFL now is because of last year with no fans in the stands. Apparently, you could hear everything.
Right.
And the coaches were like, wait a minute. Like, some of this stuff's far beyond what anyone ever needs to hear.
Right.
We better curtail this before we all get in trouble.
Yeah, but the taunting rules are awful. They really
But that's why it's in. That's why it's in.
I don't care why they're there. They're awful. They're just terrible.
Quick Giant note, then back to your calls. Obviously, the focus today is on the Yankees and Aaron Boone coming back. Aaron Boone's going to join us in about 13 minutes. The New York Giants have made an announcement.
What we got?
See, they couldn't wait. Just let the Yankees have the whole day. Right? Let
What'd
the
they do?
Yankees be the focus.
What'd they do?
The New York Giants.
Wait, before you say anything,
Yeah.
will Giant fans be happy about it or mad about it?
Giant fans will be upset about it.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Joe Judge has been extended.
Joe Judge was not the U-Hoop Coach of the Week either. Sorry about that.
Dave
No.
Gettleman has agreed to a 5-year contract extension.
Yeah, John Mara said he's the best. I know. Andrew Thomas has been put on the injured reserve list. He's out for a minimum now of 3 games.
That's brutal.
So who's your starting left tackle against the Panthers?
Nate Solder.
Oh, what?
Matt Pert, Nate Solder, but probably Nate Solder.
Yeah, so you better get an extra cushion for Danny Jones's helmet.
That's brutal.
Yeah, Andrew Thomas, who we thought was going to have a big year this year.
I thought he
and
was.
prior to getting hurt, looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, we were seeing great improvement from Andrew Thomas, but you got to stay on the field. It's the same problem the Jets are having with their quote-unquote franchise left tackle. Mackay never plays.
I forgot he was even on the Jets, to be honest.
That's a problem.
I really did.
Wait, is there any update on Kadarius Toney, by the way?
Yeah, I did read an update earlier, and it was not good.
Yeah, what I had heard was ankle injury may be more serious than they thought. Okay.
Yeah, I guess we read the same thing.
Right, but what does that mean? Great, it's more serious. What is it? Is there a timetable on it? Does the guy need surgery? Where are we with Toney? Because what's so amazing about Kadarius Toney, and I think you'd agree with this, every Giant fan would, their offense for those first 6 or 7 plays when he was out there was dynamic because of him. He was a game changer.
No, he was the best. I apologize.
Yeah.
He's the best player on the field for them.
Right. It looked completely different the moment he came off the field. So losing Toney, and look, losing Thomas is probably more significant because he is the left tackle, protecting the blind side of Daniel Jones. But Kadarius Toney looked insane.
So here's the report. Pat Leonard has it from the Daily News, so he should get credit for that. Pat's a man, right?
Yes.
All right, good.
Used to cover the New York
I'm not
Rangers.
sure about there's a woman, Patricia. I don't know.
Well, do you know Pat Leonard?
No.
Guy's been around for a while.
Never heard of him.
Used to cover the Rangers. Now he covers the Giants.
Good for him. He's a great
all right.
reporter. Whatever. I'm giving him credit for his story.
You didn't know who
Toney
he was until 30 seconds ago.
Great. But I'm reading it.
Go ahead.
Sources have indicated that Toney's injury is more serious than a simple sprain, and he will miss some time. Meaning he ain't playing Sunday.
Jeez.
And maybe beyond that as well. And the dude's been lighting it up. I mean,
dude,
that guy, they picked the right guy. That guy's the best player on the field.
You could argue that besides the quarterback, the 2 most important guys on offense, even more than Saquon, I'm sorry, right now is Kadarius Toney and Andrew Thomas. Your left tackle and a wide receiver who looks dynamic when the ball is in his hands. And those 2 guys, it sounds, based on what you're saying, that we're not going to see either guy for, 3-4 games? A month and a half?
Well, 3 games for sure on Thomas.
Yeah.
There's no actual number yet on Kadarius Toney.
Do you want to reevaluate your thought that the Giants are going to win on Sunday?
No, I do not.
All right.
I believe they'll beat the Panthers. Suck.
Okay.
And McCaffrey ain't playing.
Okay.
So the Giants, it may be ugly.
Is Saquon playing?
But
Do we have an update on
I don't
him?
think Saquon's playing
Okay,
either.
so Saquon's not playing. Thomas is not playing. Kadarius Toney's not playing.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones has looked terrible over the last 6 quarters, and their defense can't stop us.
Yeah.
So continue on about how they're going to win.
10-7.
Whatever. Sam Darnold throws 5 interceptions.
Sam Darnold sucks. So I'm not worried about it. The Giants will be. The Giants defense will have 3 picks in this game, maybe 2.
Sam Darnold has more wins than the Giants and Jets combined.
That's great. He has 0 wins without McCaffrey. He's an embarrassment. 451, Aaron Boone coming up. He's got a 3-year contract and does not own a jacket and tie, which I love about him. That's how casual that guy is. Shows up at the press conference and saves his life, and he's rocking a quarter zip. My man. We'll get Tim coming up right after this on The Fan.
My DMs are now filled with people that want to buy tomorrow night's Knick tickets.
Oh, I had to grab up first, Evan. I'm sorry about that.
Sorry.
All right. Spend less time on cooking and cleanup and more time enjoying with Grubhub. The most restaurants, the most rewards. Stay in and save by ordering Grubhub. Save with perks, pre-order food, and express reorder. 24/7 customer service, contact-free delivery. Whether it's a special deal at a local spot or hundreds of dollars in free food from restaurants around the hood, Perks offers Grubhub diners one place to find exclusive offers from nearby restaurants. Get the deals you love on the food you love with Perks from Grubhub and grub what you love.
Jackpot.
Carton Roberts is presented by Grubhub. Grubhub guarantees your food will get to you on time within the delivery window and for the lowest price compared to other apps, or you'll get at least $5 in perks. Grubhub works hard to serve restaurants.
Dan Wilbur tweeted, got an email from Untuckit. Dude, every shirt's an Untuckit shirt right now. Mr. Wilbur, I just don't know if that's true. Every man deserves to wear a perfectly fitted Untuckit that falls at just the right length. However, due to production limitations, we can't make enough Untuckit shirts for every man on Earth. Lots of men are still wearing poorly fitted traditional shirts. Keeps me up at night. Find your shirt today at untuckit.com.
I've made a lot of questionable choices. Was it all because I was dehydrated? Nah. But now I'm trying to make smarter decisions. You know, hydrating with smart water and stuff like that. Keep living smart. Ow!
There's got to be a better way. At Good To Go Insurance, you can get coverage with as little as $20 down, despite your driving record. Get an online quote for a low monthly payment in less than a minute. Save money by only paying for the coverage you need and get proof of insurance on the spot. Visit goodtogo.com and get coverage fast, cheap, and easy. That's goodtogo.com.
Looking for name brand tires? Town Fair Tire has them all. Michelin, Goodyear, Bridgestone, Firestone, BF Goodrich, General, Uniroyal, Continental, and more. Every name brand tire at that guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody!
With NHL Center Ice, you can follow your favorite teams and players no matter where you live. You'll get up to 40 out-of-market games a week, putting you in control of the matchups you watch every night of the season. Watch McDavid on Wednesday, Matthews on Thursday, McKinnon on Friday. With NHL Center Ice, you'll get a season ticket to the best stars of the NHL. Order NHL Center Ice on DirecTV now. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS or visit directtv.com/NHL.
The Avengers weren't my first family.
What brings you home?
We have unfinished business.
It still fits.
We fight with you.
Let's go.
Cardboard cutouts claim their place as legitimate New York sports fans.
To get you started with hoops action, Brooklyn fans won't want to miss this as we take you out to Barclays.
One sec, Barclay. Let me just see this dunk. Okay, boy, let's go. I'll just switch SNY to my phone. Here we go.
Oh, Barclay! SNY. Every team, for every fan, from every device.
Get your New York sports here.
Competition. I can't live like the opposition. Living everything I dreamed of. Doing everything you think of. The way I work, I'm on the brink of. Doing numbers like a brake truck.
I'm on new levels.
Dear experts, to you, I'm the best-selling compact SUV in America, with all-wheel drive and tons of room. To our drivers, I'm unbeatable value. Let's go places. RAV4.
Right now, you can get 1.9% APR financing on a new 2021 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, Let's go places.
First, there was Vegas, then Atlantic City. Now, your pocket. DraftKings has an online casino where you can play your favorite games whenever and wherever you want. Slots, blackjack, and more.
New casino players can get a deposit bonus up to $2,000 plus free casino credits.
Download the app or visit us online. Try DraftKings Casino today with our exclusive offer and experience the casino floor like never before.
I gained 53 pounds.
Did she say gain weight?
I gained 53 pounds with CB1 Weight Gainer.
That's right. Introducing CB1 Weight Gainer, the weight gain pill.
I've been skinny most of my life. CB1 Weight Gainer totally changed my life.
CB1 Weight Gainer is a safe, effective, and patented weight gain pill.
I searched and searched online and I finally found CB1 Weight Gainer. It took me only 3 months to gain 30 pounds.
I went from 150 to 175 in just 3 months.
All in all, I gained 53 pounds and I'm super pumped. I look and feel better than ever.
Gain the weight you want or your money back guaranteed. Order today and we'll include the exclusive Weight Gain Guidebook, a $19.99 value free. Call now and we'll also upgrade your order to rush processing, a $6.99 value absolutely free. That's right. Save over $25 when you call or visit cb1weightgainer.com now.
SNY Play Ball, presented by Chick-fil-A, is back, looking to help local basketball leagues in need continue play, providing grants.
A lot of the students are going to be excited when they see the uniform that we could purchase with our money.
Clinics.
They teach us things that we've never been taught before, and then at the same time, it's fun.
Equipment donations and special Harlem Globetrotter experiences.
Kids were chomping at the bit to get into this particular event.
If you know a local basketball league in need, apply today at sny.tv/playball.
Saying we are going to get a new shortstop. We are going to look to upgrade center field. We are going to have a new catcher. We are not sure we're doing at first base right now. So you are looking at the reality that the 2022 New York Yankees will have a minimum of 3, maybe 4 everyday players that are different than you had when you ended last year. First base, shortstop, catcher, center field.
Well, first base may be the same. Keeping Anthony Rizzo may be the move.
Maybe.
I think that was
on the table.
The bottom line is this. No Yankee fan wanted to hear, we're going to try this again. Glaber will be better. Gio will be better. DJ will be better. Let's just run it back. We'll be better. No Yankee fan wanted to hear that. And Brian Cashman, and we'll see if he backs it up with action, basically told you, we're going to have a different looking team next year.
Well, joining us now, as promised, is the returning manager of the New York Yankees, Aaron Boone, and it's still sponsored Well, what if they didn't bring him back? All right. It's sponsored by Jersey Mike's, the official sub-sandwich shop of the New York Yankees, by Winters Brothers Waste Systems. Conveniently rent a dumpster online at wintersbros.com. Long Island's #1 choice for waste removal, wintersbros.com, and by Spectrum Mobile. Get unlimited talk, text, and data. You could save up to 40%. Go to spectrummobile.com today. Aaron Boone, Craig, and Evan, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Great. Well, congratulations, first and foremost. Was there ever...
Your sweatshirt's coming. Your sweatshirt's coming.
Now we're talking. Thank you. It's about time. Was there a time at all over the last 2 weeks where you thought there was a possibility that you weren't going to come back?
A possibility? Sure. Yeah. I guess all the way till the very end, I didn't know for certain. We had a lot of things to work through. I had a lot of things to consider and think on and pray on and talk with my family. And, so there were a lot of little things to work through. I mean, in the end, I was hoping that it would come to this and come to this ending, and probably felt optimistic about that. But I never felt like it was a certainty.
There was a perception, because it had taken 2 weeks, that they're letting Aaron Boone twist in the wind. Did you ever feel like you were twisting in the wind?
No. I know they're right after our season, there was probably, a week where, you just the end of the season and letting it breathe. And I know front office and ownership kind of doing their due diligence, and and then I actually had a conversation with Hal what's today, Tuesday, I think last Monday, where we spoke for about 15 or 20 minutes, and he informed me that he wanted to have me back, and then it was just a matter of my agent and Cash kind of working out a deal, and obviously we're able to get it done.
You didn't seem, and as I've gotten to know you, and please tell me if I'm wrong on this, you're not like a lot of guys where you don't come across as a person where you were motivated by the money, how much money am I going to get, or even the length of the contract. As you said at the press conference today, you didn't demand a 3-year deal. You would have signed maybe a 2-year deal, whatever. So I'm trying to figure out if you do feel like you would have been a popular candidate on the open circuit, as Cashman did say today. What specifically, other than the respect we all have as a dad and husband, I don't want to move my kids and my family every 3 years. What was it about the Yankees coming back that made you say, hey, maybe that is better than San Diego. Hey, maybe that is better than St. Louis, or the New York Mets, for example? What specifically is the driving force there for you?
I'm invested here. The family part of things, that you spoke on, but just organizationally, I came here, left doing what I was doing because I wanted to get back into being a part of a team and in the game and have a chance to compete for a championship. And, we haven't gotten to that point yet, obviously. And so that's kind of my driving force. And I have a lot of strong connections with, players now that, have played for me for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, whatever it is. I feel strong ties with my staff in the front office and ownership, and feel like in a way, it's unfinished business. I still want to compete at the highest level and try and bring a championship. And that's kind of, from a baseball standpoint, my motivation. And this is where I wanted to do that. As far as all the other, San Diego, whatever open jobs there are out there. In the end, those are all just people speculating. The reality is, had I not signed, I'm still under contract for the next month. We were going to absolutely honor that and not go down the business of trying to find out or, certainly tamper or do those kind of things. And I wanted to keep my focus on being here where, I feel like this is where I want it to happen. And that was my focus.
You mentioned the coaching staff. When the decisions were made to move on from 3 coaches, were you told this is what we're doing, or were you part of the discussion on it? Hey, I think we should change things up. What do you think about it? How did that process work?
Yeah, I mean, you know, ultimately that wasn't my decision, and you know, I'm certainly in on it and have these conversations, and ultimately, you know, we always have disagreements and conversations and talk through things and do our due diligence on things. So ultimately, you know, I have to become on board and do what, you know, I think if get to this place. One of the things that I had to deal with was that was a hard part of this, is going through that and seeing people you really care about, knowing they're not coming back. That was something that I had to come to grips with and had to ultimately be okay. And could I move past that? And I got to that place and feel like my relationship with, in this case, Marcus and PJ and Phil are strong and will always be strong. And, you know, ultimately there's attrition that happens, you know, especially when you don't reach your ultimate goal. And I understand that's part of the business and part of the difficult decisions that we all have sometimes.
Does moving on from Marcus and PJ mean that there's going to be a different approach, a philosophical change when it comes to approach at the plate next year?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we're going to kind of go through the interview process and probably talk to a handful of people. You know, we have some people in mind of the road we want to go down, but I don't know if necessarily philosophical, because, you know, I'm aligned with what Marcus and PJ, you know, teach and talk about. And the bottom line is they're really, really good coaches and really, really good people and have the ability to connect and command respect. And so, you know, obviously a new voice is going to be different on some level, and there'll be different things that I'm sure the next hitting coach incorporates and hopefully allows us to continue to get a little bit better.
Well, talking to Aaron Boone, who's back, 3-year contract plus an extension, could keep him here through 2025. Listen, you've been around long enough, just yourself, your brother, your dad, like, you know the business well enough. When the GM comes out repeatedly and says, we didn't hit enough, when, you know, you get thrown out at the plate 22 times, you know what's going to happen. I imagine that PJ and Marcus and Phil, who are baseball men, knew what was going to happen as well. I don't think them not coming back necessarily surprised anybody. Am I right on that?
I don't know. I mean, I think maybe in some cases Marcus and PJ maybe sensed that potentially coming. You know, I'm not sure. I mean, when you're in it, when you're grinding away at it, and for us fighting for a playoff position and getting you're consumed with that. You're not getting ahead of yourself and thinking about, you know, jobs and things like that, or off-season moves or off-season coaching changes. You know, so I'm not sure there. No, I don't think Phil was expecting this, but at the same time, a lot of our coaches, obviously this is a case where their contracts are expiring, so it's a little bit of a different.
Sure. So I wonder, as we talk to Aaron Boone here, you know, they make changes like that. There is a notion now in Major League Baseball, it's a disrespectful notion, that the manager has been marginalized. That it's not like it was 20 years ago where it's your team, you're making the decisions. That the thought now is, at best, it's a group decision, but it's the suits upstairs that are making a lot of decisions, analytical decisions, you know, an opener versus a starter, and all the crap that we all hear about and, you know, it's talked about on and on and on. Do you agree with that notion? And was there a moment over the last year specifically where you felt that, where you felt like, you know, it wasn't solely up to you to make a decision that was going to impact the team?
First of all, I would say, yes, it's very different than 20 years ago. And it is much more of a collaborative world. That said, I think it's grossly exaggerated, at least in my experience. I obviously can't speak for other teams and what they go through as far as, you know, what my role is or what my decisions are each and every day. Most of the things that come down, especially game related, are decisions I make along with my coaching staff. We have, obviously a lot of information, a lot of things that are given to us that we pour through on a daily or a nightly basis the night before that certainly influence our decision. But I've always felt like the game decisions are my decisions.
I want to ask you something real specific because I think it jumped out to a lot of us as baseball fans when Dave Roberts said, I was one voice of many in their approach for Game 5. Every organization's different, and I respect that, and the Dodgers are a hell of an organization. Is that the same? Like when making a decision?
No,
So,
I have not come across that.
So you
now,
are making that decision?
Yes, and certainly there are big decisions like that come across that a lot of people have their input when we're going to do something like that have suggestions or their inputs or their whys and things like that. But ultimately, when it comes to enacting it in the course of a game or in the course of deciding who's playing that day, that ultimately falls in my lap.
Okay, because that I think, and I admit I was a part of it when that came out. When Dave said that, I was like, well, I guess every team's like that. And you're saying you're just different. That's not the way the Yankees are making decisions, and you're making decisions.
No.
Speaking about decisions, the one decision you guys got right, but I think for most fans too late, was moving Glaber to second base. When you look back, and I'm sure you've done this, when you look back on this past season, are there a couple decisions that you'd like to have back or you wish you could have made earlier? I assume moving Glaber to second would be one of those that, had you done that 2 months earlier, maybe there's a different outcome. Like, for you, what are those decisions that you look back and go, man, we could have done better at that?
Yeah, that's one of those ultimately that was my decision and something I decided to do late in the year. It's something that I actually talked about with my coaches a couple months prior, even talked to Cash about a couple months prior and decided to hold off on it. And then ultimately I felt like the time that I did make the decision, it was the decision I had to make at that time. So whether I should have done it earlier or not, maybe. I mean, we can quibble over that, and it's not necessarily something I kick myself a ton about, but it is something that definitely, crossed my mind or I gave some serious consideration to much earlier in the season.
Looking back at this roster, at this locker room, does this locker room have all the leaders that it needs, or do you think that is something that could be added to improve it?
I think we do. I think we have the right ingredients. I think we have the right people. I think we have the right voices that are the strong voices. But we certainly have area to grow in that still. I'm certainly a part of that in helping that grow and need to make sure that continues to grow because, especially here, especially playing here in New York, playing for the Yankees, the noise can get loud and become a distraction if you allow it to. And it's, incumbent on me and the leaders in our room to make sure that, not only do we have broad shoulders, but that we're putting all our focus where it needs to be each and every day, and that's preparing to be the best we can be.
Do you think the noise ever became a distraction?
I think there were different times in the course of the year where, it maybe had an effect here or there, a day here, a week here on certain guys. Yeah, I think, but that's part of it. I think you can make that case that there's some effect each and every year, and some guys and teams and years are better at dealing with it and handling it. But I think that creeps in every now and then, yes.
Talking to Aaron Boone, you said that the Glaber to second wasn't one of those decisions that you kind of lose sleep over now or kick yourself about. Can you give us an example of one of those decisions that you do or did lose sleep over looking back on it?
I don't know. Early in the year when, or sometime in the middle of the year, like I wish there was a game where ultimately, I think it was the Royals, where I decided to walk Carlos Santana. And I had gone out to the mound to talk to Chappie about it.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were going to pitch around him. And as I got back to the dugout, I just kind of changed my mind. So I wish I would have been probably a little more decisive in that moment, making that call, more earlier and more with more conviction, and not, going back to the dugout and probably catching everyone a little bit by surprise. That's one of those that, I probably should have been more decisive in the moment.
How do you balance? Because, look, I get it's 162 games. You want to keep guys healthy. You don't want to overuse your bullpen in April and May. But how do you balance the urgency that every game matters? I mean, you could look back at any game this year and say, hey, you win that game, the game's at Yankee Stadium. And maybe Stanton, it's 3 home runs, as crazy as that is. But how do you balance the urgency of winning as many games as you can to it's a 162-game season? And can you see that balance changing in the future or remaining the same?
Yeah, I mean, that's the ultimate challenge, I think, when you're navigating the regular season. I think one where we were hurt a little bit this year is because we didn't, we didn't have the offense that we've had the last few years where we, been the top 1 or 2 team in the league, runs scored. This year, scoring runs was a struggle for us sometimes. So we found ourselves playing in so many close games, and especially coming off a COVID season. And so you're leaning on, you're in these high leverage situations almost every night. So you're leaning on, Loizaga way more than he ever has in his career as he's developed. You're leaning on Chad Green. You're leaning on these guys more and more, and that's why it was really important for us to try and develop other guys within our bullpen. That I think is one of the things that really happened this year is we were able to lean on a number of guys. A number of guys really established themselves in important roles and helped us win a lot of games, pitching in some situations that maybe at the beginning of the year you didn't necessarily envision them in. So that's always a balance you got to strike. I mean, there's games where you got to have the discipline to, when it's really hard to stay away from a key guy. But there's times that you get burnt by that, by saying, all right, we're going to run this guy, even though you feel like it's a day you need to stay away, and maybe they're not quite as sharp and it blows up on you, and then you end up paying for it. So it's a balance you got to strike, and certainly one of the challenges, but certainly part of the gig.
Talking to Aaron Boone, let's get to the guy that disappoints me the most, and it's a big question mark going into next year for me, and I think for a lot of Yankee fans, and that's Garrett Cole, who obviously has the unbelievably poor showing in Boston for the wild card game, and frankly, from Spider Tack on, has an ERA about 4. And I say to myself, well, unless they collectively bargain that sticky stuff back into the game next year, we got a $36 million a year pitcher who is not an ace, is not a lights-out starter, and clearly wasn't what Yankee fans wanted him to be the second half of the season, and clearly in Boston. Where are you guys at right now with Garrett Cole, and what's the concern level that he may have become a pedestrian pitcher because of that Spider Tack stuff?
I think he's absolutely an ace, and the time moving forward will bear that out. Even though, like you said, from that point on, had more ups and downs, certainly in his outings. I think there were a number of teams, pitchers that had to make certain adjustments. But I think everything, that you look at from a just quality of pitches, shapes of pitches, when you measure those kind of things, everything suggests he's going to be an ace pitcher for us moving forward. I expect that. It's hard to quantify. Also, we came off of a weird season last year, and even though we felt very good about pushing him to, he didn't get to the 200 inning mark because of, he had the hamstring issue that cost him a start or two. He had COVID that knocked him down. But there were a lot of really tremendous outings along the way, post the enforcement of that stuff.
What do you think happened to him at Fenway? I mean, he wasn't good at Fenway all year, but specifically wild card game, it's the moment guys like that you think live for. Did you know pregame that he didn't have it? Like, what went wrong that day?
I just think at the back end of the year, and again, I do think he was healthy, but there's no telling, what, sometimes, you have a little bit of an injury or a setback. There's some subtle things that can affect you. You go in that game, probably some pitch selection things that probably weren't the best pitches at the time. There's a lot of things that I think contributed. Also, we're seeing obviously a team in the Red Sox that have really caught fire offensively right now. And, they made it very tough on them. But I don't think there's anything that I see stuff-wise or repertoire-wise that won't suggest that he's going to, bounce back and absolutely be the ace we expect him to be.
The interpretation Craig got from what Brian Cashman said is that this roster is going to look very different. Do you get that sense that going into opening day next year, you're going to be managing a different-looking team?
You know what? We'll see. I don't know. We don't even know. I know we don't necessarily have the budget yet. There's obviously things that happen. The collective bargaining agreement's up. The one thing I know is, Cash and the front office will be, exploring everything free agent wise, trade wise, where we can make improvements, where we need to add and subtract. So I think it's possible that there'll be some serious turnover, but you really never know until, the off season kind of unfolds. And in a lot of cases, especially if you're in the trade market, it takes a couple teams to tango. And, but I know we'll be exploring a lot of different things.
Do you think Carlos Correa will fit the locker room well?
He did say he likes pinstripes the other day.
He did.
He didn't say which color blue, that's all.
Yeah, he's keeping his options open, Aaron.
So what's your wish list? I know Brian said you have a new shortstop. Everyone knows that. You may have a new first baseman. You may have a new center fielder. You may have a new catcher. I know you guys all respect the Gary Sanchez work ethic, but I think it stands to reason that Gary Sanchez is not here. Among those positions and anything else, when you sit down and they eventually get around the room and get to you, and they say, all right, Aaron, if you were king for the day, you want blank. Like, where do you want the most help this offseason?
Yeah, I'm not going to answer that question. I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone else, or it just depends. It depends what you're comparing and what the cost is and all those kind of things.
How about style?
I'll have my opinions, certainly, and I just want us to continue to get better.
How about style, though? There's a lot to be said that when Florial was here, when Allen was here, even Velasquez.
Athleticism.
Having speed, and, Tyler Wade was out all year for you, but athletes, having guys who can go first to third, having guys who can steal a base, hit and run, that was a dynamic you didn't start the season with. Would you like more of that?
Of course. You love. I want it all. I want more athleticism. I want better defense. I want more power. I want, better pitching. Yeah, we're chasing that. This utopia of a team, a more perfect team all the time, and it's.
Did you enjoy having three lefties in the lineup? Was that something that did you enjoy having three lefties in the lineup?
I did.
All right.
You like that better than having nine righties in the lineup?
Now we're getting somewhere. More lefties, more speed.
Although I would say to you, the Toronto Blue Jays, which were kind of a wrecking machine offensively, ran out some kind of heavy righties at you, but kind of made it work.
No, look, and the Rays strike out a lot, and they still score a lot of runs. There are exceptions to everything, but I think ideally you want the balance. You want guys that make contact, guys that a mix and match of lefties and righties, ideally.
I got a question for you. Cashman alluded to the fact that DJ LeMahieu was struggling with that sports hernia a lot longer than any of us knew. So now that he has acknowledged that, and I guess he had the surgery last week, and he'll be back in time, should be no problems for him going forward in spring training. How long was he dealing with that this past year?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question because I think, again, like sometimes I compare these guys like they're race cars, right? And that, the difference sometimes when you're, an older player and say a 38-year-old star player, why isn't he quite as good? Because he can do a lot of the things he's always done. He just can't do them quite consistently and as finely tuned and as specific. So I think there's the potential that there was the onset of that injury that kind of grew over time. When that exactly began, I'm not quite certain.
Gotcha.
Over the last 2 weeks, I think we've analyzed everything about your year managing. And I like to think that Craig and I think of everything, but there was a caller to this radio station who brought up something I had never thought of, and I'd like to give you the opportunity to respond to this. They said, I don't like Aaron Boone because he chews bubble gum in the dugout, and they didn't like that.
Come on.
Do you have a reaction to that heavy criticism that came your way?
Yeah. I mean, I probably do chew it a little too hard and fast, and but you got to do something. You know what I mean?
Listen, I like the fact you didn't wear a jacket and tie to the press conference today. Quarter zip, blue bugle boys, all good, man. That's I prefer that anyway. That's my thing, right?
That was my my Northeastern guy.
Was there ever a part of you that said, all right, if I don't manage the Yankees, I'd manage one of the other teams that has an opening. Boy, that would be so weird managing the Mets. Talking to Craig and Evan as the Met manager. Did that thought ever go through your mind of how different maybe this would be?
Yeah, number one, it doesn't pay anything.
Very little. I mean, obviously, I had people reaching out to me and, sending me the rumor stuff and whatever. But I was so I'm human and your mind wanders, I guess, a little bit. But for the most part, I was kind of just, really focused on, trying to see if we can get to a resolution here. And like I said, I thought we're going to be able to, and we kind of worked towards that, and we're able to get there.
Final couple of things. Aaron Boone kind enough to join us on the day it's announced that he has a 3-year extension with the team option. So next 3 years, Aaron Boone is the New York Yankee manager. It sounds to me, I respect the privacy of the conversation, that you have spoken with Phil Nevin. I'm sure you did with PJ and Marcus as well. When Phil came out publicly defending his sending of Aaron Judge against A-Rod's critique, were you pissed at the way Alex also criticized Phil's decision there? And what did you think about Phil responding to it afterwards? Because it doesn't happen a lot.
Well, let me say, I think Phil is a really good third base coach, like really good. And him not coming back had nothing to do with that send. And so, he's going to be a difficult guy to replace, I think, over there, because he's really good mechanically at the position. He understands how to work, and I certainly understand. I understand his send and what he was looking at and what he was in position to see. And when you see, Kike take the ball and throw it, and it's not a great throw out of his hand, and it's going to it's going to bounce. Then you start to calculate, okay, it's got to really bounce and be perfect on both ends to make this happen. So I understand, the send, I understand how it looks, especially when you're out by a lot at home plate, but I understand the things that need to go right to make that happen. And I felt like at least Phil was in the right decision and seeing the right thing when he processed how he was going to send them.
And this is a weird question for you, but you listen to radio, you're on with us, you read things, you know what's going on. Your coming back is not being met with a lot of positive reviews by the Yankee fan base. So you have a chance now to speak to Yankee fans, and a lot of them wish the Yankees, by the way, they wanted Cashman fired as well. So you're not alone in that. What would you say to Yankee fans going forward, especially the ones that didn't want you back? Is there any message you have for them, anything you want to say to them if you had the chance?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, one of the reasons that I'm here and that I'm doing this is because of the passion of our fan base and the extent of our fan base, and that people really care about this. And it certainly beats the alternative of people not caring or, being, having whatever thought to it. People really care about our team and the New York Yankees, and there's an expectation that we have. you know, and an expectation the fan base has that we want championships, and I certainly understand that, and that's certainly my expectation. And you know, all I can say is I'm doing all I can to put us in that position, and I believe I'm the right guy for this job, the right guy to lead this team, and you know, eventually time's going to tell, you know, whether I'm able to come through with it.
And final thing on a personal level. Do the Boones celebrate the contract? Do you and the kids and wife, you guys go out for dinner? You order in, like, once you put your name on the piece of paper and it's official, you get to stay here for 3 more years. How do you guys celebrate that?
Not really. No, I mean, you know how it is. I got kids in sports, so I was at a high school football game last night, a JV game. I was at my daughter's soccer game this afternoon. So, like,
I got it.
I'm in dad mode when it comes to that, and they're too busy to, you know. I certainly, obviously, they were a big part of the decision and the commitment that you know, not only I have to have, but you know, my family has to be on board with, and you know, they were all, you know, on board and certainly supportive.
Moving kids from a new school district to another one is not ideal for anybody on a personal level. Like, that's one of the toughest decisions to have to make. And you're in a business where, you know, moving happens a lot. So the fact that you're able to stay put in 3 more years of your kids going to the same school and the things your wife does in the town you guys live in is immeasurable, I think, on a personal level, for sure.
Yeah, and one of my kids, you know, I have 4 kids, so I'm not moving.
That's it.
So
do you know who the leak was on Reddit last night? Do you have an idea how it got to the online platform of Reddit before anyone else knew, or no?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out.
By the way, Corey Seager just hit a 2-run homer. Where would you hit him? Would you bat him second? Would you bat him third? How would you line up Corey? He'd be perfect.
Aaron, congratulations. Appreciate you coming on. Look forward to 3 more years of doing it with you, and the best to you and your family. Good for you.
All right, and I'll try and get you that sweatshirt. And, hey, Evan, maybe I'll get you a sweatshirt, too.
That would be phenomenal. Watching having to put on the Yankee colors.
Yeah, that's a real nice gesture. I appreciate it.
He'll be at opening day next year.
Hey, you got Nets. We got Nets tonight.
We do, baby. Now, are you a Sixer fan as well as an Eagle fan, or no?
I am a Sixer fan, but I do pull for the Nets, and you know, I'm friends with Sean Marks, so it's a little conflicting there.
It's Fugazi is what it is.
Here's what I want to know. Are you on board with the idea of, look, we can't have Kyrie around for half the games. Let's just send him home. Let's end the distraction. Were you on board with that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a... Whew.
How about the fact
glad I'm not making that call.
How about the fact your head coach kicked Ben Simmons out of practice today for conduct detrimental to the team?
He doesn't want to be
Apparently,
there.
He had a cell phone in his pocket.
Oh, I saw the cell phone yesterday. That happened today? He got kicked.
Well, it happened yesterday. I guess he got kicked out today, but he had a cell phone in his pocket.
You know what they have to do? I know it's a different issue than Kyrie. They have to send him home, too. And then they've just got to figure out a way to trade him because he can't be there. Joel Embiid hates his guts. Yeah. He's saying today, I'm not here to babysit. I mean, just get rid of him. Just get rid of him.
Yeah.
He had a cell phone in his pocket at practice. Like, what are we doing? All right, Aaron, enjoy the family, the kids, and all that stuff, and thanks for coming on.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right, Aaron Boone Report brought to you by Jersey Mike's, the official sub sandwich shop of the New York Yankees. I'm friends with Sean Marks. Come on, that's weak.
He's a Net fan.
That is weak cheese.
He's a big Net fan.
You know he's not. He's a Sixers fan.
He knew they were playing tonight. He cares, and he knows they have a chance to win a title.
Well, he's a basketball fan.
He's on board, baby. You know what was the most interesting thing Aaron Boone said?
That he had no idea when DJ first got hurt.
No? That's not a surprise.
Oh.
I think, and you don't have to believe it, by the way, Dave Roberts saying, I was one of many voices, opened up this box of us assuming, well, this is how all organizations run. And again, you don't have to believe Aaron. It's up to you. Aaron said, no, it's not the way it works here. I'm not one of many voices. I make the decision. Now,
the game day decision.
No, the decision to start a guy in a game 5.
I don't buy that.
No, I'm not saying you have to buy it. I'm saying that was his answer.
I think that would have been a collective decision, much like it was, 2 years ago, right?
Well, that's not what he's saying, though.
Yeah, well, so he lies a little bit.
That's my point. It's up to
Do you think, like, if the
believe it or
Yankees had an
not.
elimination game and the obvious guys are not available to start, let's say, you don't think that there's a powwow on that?
I think there's a powwow, but here's the difference. Dave Roberts lifted up the curtain and said, hey, I'm one of many voices. I have one vote. Like it's a democracy, and there's 30 people voting, and I'm one. Aaron Boone is telling you, yeah, there's a lot of voices, but I make the final decision. Now, I don't know the answer. Neither do you. We're not there. I'm sure a lot of Yankee fans are going to say, I don't believe it. And I understand that. But that is, to me, intriguing because I think that's the real big question about managing in 2021. We all know it's different. But how much control and power do managers have? Dave Roberts is basically being honest and telling you, yeah, I'm just one guy voting. And Aaron Boone is saying, no.
Don't you at least, like, ordering a pizza or something to celebrate? Like, I know, like, I got kids all over the place, too. So he has 4, I have 4. 2 of mine are out of the house. They're older in college. But the other 2, it's nonstop with you taking them here, taking them there. But if something great happens in your mom or dad's life, pizza and ice cream.
Is keeping your job something great?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if your contract is extended.
I'll let you know.
I was going to say, if your contract's extended, no significant raise, just, Craig, we want to bring you back.
Yes.
Here's an extra 2 years. You're going to party that night?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. If I find out that I get renewed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notice
Let's
how we went
go.
from we to I.
Well, I don't know that. I mean, in theory, the team could be renewed,
or maybe
individuals could be renewed.
Boone Nevin situation.
Like, here's the reality, and you guys think it works the opposite. It doesn't. You guys all in this building all have it twisted.
What's that?
When the hosts don't come back, the producers and board ops don't go anywhere. They don't get fired with the host. They don't leave with the host.
Who thought otherwise, though?
Because I know what these guys are thinking. If you guys are gone, what happens to us? You guys are fine. You just produce the next show that comes in.
With whoever's next.
Very few shows come with built-in producers and board ops, assistant producers. That's not normal.
Associate producer.
Pardon me, associate producer.
Yes.
I think you're more of a producer anyway. Because in the show,
producer.
you kind of produce the show. Thomas produces more pre-show, post-show.
So what's Thomas's job title?
I have no idea.
Craig's personal assistant.
I have no idea. There are times he does a little bit of that. Not like crazy. Like, I just still like going downstairs to get the food deliveries. So he always says yes to that. I will give him that. He's money on that. He repeats me when I say it. Hey, do you mind going to get that? He goes, going to get that? I'll go get that.
He still does that on a high level?
Yeah, he does that.
He was called out about it?
I didn't realize no was an option. I didn't realize no. I thought it was just go get it. But all right.
You should try it and see what happens.
I'm always polite about it. I go, hey, do you mind going to get that?
Yeah.
And he goes, what, food downstairs? Get that? I'll go get that. Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, because I'm usually very busy because Law and Order. I got to watch.
At least you're being honest about what you're busy about.
I got to watch.
Of course.
I got to watch Dateline ID,
how
Law
can you
and
not
Order,
watch it?
and very important high-level conversations. Yeah. All right, listen, I know we got to take care of some business. If you want to react to the Aaron Boone interview right there, please do. Or just your overall thoughts. Boone is back. And that's good or bad, depending on who you are as a Yankee fan. Dunkin' Donuts Perks members experience the perks of the fandom. Dunkin' Donuts Perks members enjoy a $2 medium Dunkin' hot coffee. Stay toasty, Evan, and caffeinated with the Dunkin'.
Oh, yeah, man. You could also try 100% Guatemalan hot coffee. It helps you take that Dunkin' to the next level. So get the app, become a DD Perks member, and join now because Dunkin' is where it's at.
Carton and Roberts on SNY is brought to you by Dunkin'. This fall, there's a whole new spin on pumpkin to love with the new Pumpkin Cream Cold Brew and Pumpkin Spice Signature Latte. America runs on Dunkin'.
Young Mozzarella tweeted, I purchased one of those untuck it dress shirts and then tucked it in. If anyone out there is looking for a bad boy. Mr. Mozzarella, this tweet made me realize what I've been missing all along. Bad boys. I would like you to be our first tucked-in model. The models on untuckit.com wear their shirts untucked like they were designed to. We want to market to tucked-in bad boys. Please DM us so we can arrange a photo shoot. Find your shirt today at untuckit.com.
I need to try it first.
There's got to be a better way.
At Good To Go Insurance, you can get coverage with as little as $20 down, despite your driving record. Get an online quote for a low monthly payment in less than a minute. Save money by only paying for the coverage you need and get proof of insurance on the spot. Visit goodtogo.com and get coverage fast, cheap, and easy. That's goodtogo.com.
Take the stage at hardrockcasino.com. Feel the thrill rise as the wheels start spinning. Join now, get 50 free spins, and take up to $1,000 welcome bonus. Download the Hard Rock Casino app today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Easterling from the New York City Health Department. I know some of you are still deciding whether to get the COVID-19 vaccine or not. I hear the concerns at community events, on social media, and even from my own family and friends. And I am hoping that in conversations with people you trust, that you are getting the information you need to make an informed decision. But I continue to be concerned about the high number of people who remain unvaccinated. And we know the reality that communities of color were disproportionately affected by COVID-19. Yet, we see some of the same disparities with who has gotten vaccinated. People of color continue to have some of the lowest vaccination rates, increasing the chances that our communities and our loved ones will be hospitalized or die. If you haven't gotten your vaccine, have a conversation with someone you trust so that we can stop being the most affected, but the least protected against COVID. Thank you.
Geico Sports Night on SNY.
What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to the show.
Your nightly source for all things New York sports.
We begin with the Jets.
And over to the Mets now.
The Knicks looking to make it 2 in a row. Wait until you see how they finish things off.
With continuous updates on the latest New York sports news.
We welcome in our Yankees insider.
Ian, thanks for joining us with the latest.
More on Dave Gettleman and the Giants.
Geico Sports Night. All night, every night, starting at 11 p.m. only at SNY.
Get your New York sports here.
In 2020, cardboard cutouts claimed their place as legitimate New York sports
What
fans.
a game for Danny Dimes in the Meadowlands. Is he?
What a game. The G-Men rule New York. Very funny, Brad. Real original.
SNY. Every team for every fan from every device.
Get your New York sports here.
Puck drops. Connecticut ice begins. Locked off the post, and there it goes. It's in for UConn. And a goal. Sacred Heart scores again. Now a chance for Quinnipiac. A shot. A score.
High-flying, in-your-face hockey tonight.
Sacred Heart takes the lead. And it's the Huskies who are on the board first. A score. Into the net it goes for Quinnipiac.
Dear America, I'm revving up to say, I'll always go the extra mile for you. With the latest tech and all-wheel drive. Thank you for making me the best-selling car in America. Be well, Camry.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost service plan with tire rotations, oil changes, and more for 2 years or 25,000 miles. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
First, there was Vegas, then Atlantic City. Now, your pocket. DraftKings has an online casino where you can play your favorite games whenever and wherever you want. Slots, blackjack, and more.
New casino players can get a deposit bonus up to $2,000 plus free casino credits.
Download the app or visit us online. Try DraftKings Casino today with our exclusive offer and experience the casino floor like never before.
I gained 53 pounds.
Did she say gain weight?
I gained 53 pounds with CB1 Weight Gainer.
That's right. Introducing CB1 Weight Gainer, the weight gain pill.
I've been skinny most of my life.
CB1 Weight Gainer totally changed my life.
CB1 Weight Gainer is a safe, effective, and patented weight gain pill.
I searched and searched online, and I finally found CB1 Weight Gainer. It took me only 3 months to gain 30 pounds.
I went from 150 to 175 in just 3 months.
All in all, I gained 53 pounds, and I'm super pumped.
I look and feel better than ever.
Gain the weight you want or your money back guaranteed. Order today and we'll include the exclusive Weight Gain Guidebook, a $19.99 value free. Call now and we'll also upgrade your order to rush processing, a $6.99 value absolutely free. That's right. Save over $25 when you call or visit cb1weightgainer.com now.
I can't live like the opposition. Living everything I dreamed of. Doing everything you think of. The way I work, I'm on the brink of. Doing numbers like a brain truck. I'm on new level.
Geico Sports Night on SNY.
What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to the show.
Your nightly source for all things New York sports.
We begin with the Jets.
And over to the Mets now.
The Knicks looking to make it 2 in a row. Wait until you see how they finish things off.
With continuous updates on the latest New York sports news.
We welcome in our Yankees insider.
Ian, thanks for joining us with the latest.
More on Dave Gettleman and the Giants.
Geico Sports Night. All night, every night, starting at 11 p.m. only in SNY.
Get your New York sports here.
No, why with the Knicks? We'll find out.
No, I'll ask him. I don't know the answer.
The Knick fan.
I'm telling you, he stopped being a Knick fan. Then Knick fan said we don't want.
Stop being a Knick fan.
Ask him. I'm not making this stuff
I'm going to
up.
ask him.
You're going
I'm
to
going to ask him. I'm
You're
going to
gonna
ask him. Yeah. I'm going to ask him. He and I had a meeting a couple years ago where we were pitched on doing a show together.
Right.
And the guy that was the head guy that led the meeting was really disrespectful to Mike. It was one of the strangest meetings I've ever been in.
What did he do that was disrespectful?
He and I we were being pitched to do a show, a daily show together.
Gotcha.
And we're sitting at this lunch in Midtown, and the boss of the place looks at Rappaport and goes, "Now you got to take this seriously. Like, no joke. Like, no half-ass in this. Like, he's like, I'm a professional. Excuse me? Like, you're offering me a job, and you're already insulting me like I half-ass things." It was the strangest
Does he have a
thing.
reputation of that?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing. Yeah, so I love Mike, and he's coming by in a little bit. John's in Fairfield, Connecticut. John, what's going on?
Hello, fellows. How you guys doing?
What's going on with you?
You know, my sense is that Aaron Boone needs to be given slack here because I think that one of two things is happening. Either Brian Cashman is the manager of the Yankees and Aaron Boone's a puppet. And Cashman, or Cashman is taking orders from Hal, and Hal maybe on Sunday brunches.
No, that's not. I can tell you for a fact that's not happening. Hal Steinbrenner is not making baseball decisions, but what he does do is request information from them.
And he also entrusts Brian Cashman.
Like they do have conference calls, and when he's in New York, they do have in-person meetings where he says, "Walk me through what we're going to do with blank." That happens regularly.
Right.
But he does. He never says to them, "I think so and so should start." That doesn't happen.
If it's not that, then what I think this is Brian Cashman trying to milk not getting fired and milk his job as long as possible.
Well,
because I think Cashman should have been fired a while ago. And I don't
When
like
should he have been fired? Were they won 103 games 2 years ago? Or they won 100 games 3 years ago? Like, when would you have fired him?
I mean, when did King George ever care about anything?
It's not about King George. He's not here. He's been dead for over a decade.
But that's the thing. The thing, John, we're missing here is that Hal is not George.
Right.
In many, many ways. Like, Joe Girardi, I thought, did a really good job. And I'm not just talking about managing a team to a World Series of 2017. You know when Joe Girardi did a great job? When he managed mediocre teams to above what their talent level was when they would win 85 games. Do you think George Steinbrenner would have kept that around? You think Joe Girardi would have survived year one as the Yankee manager when he missed the playoffs? No. So this is not George. In many, many ways, good and bad, I guess, he's not George. And if we continue to expect Hal to be George, you're going to be disappointed.
I'm still fascinated that that's still the rhetoric. Like, the man's been dead for over a decade.
Because we grew up, a lot of us, with George being the king, with the Yankees winning championships every single year, and Steinbrenner being the owner, and the edicts coming down when things didn't go well. That's what we grew up with. That was the success of the dynasty Yankees, along with, of course, having great players.
Yeah, listen, I don't know. I think
that's the answer, whether you like it or not. That's the answer.
No, I think the rightest thing you've said in the history of the show
was what?
Is that the Yankees are competing against the Yankees.
They are.
No one else, because they're so much more successful than every other franchise in this town. It's a joke.
Well, listen to what our last caller said. When you bring up George Steinbrenner, you're competing against your shadow. You're competing against 15 years ago, against 20 years ago. That's what the Yankees are competing against. That's why winning 100 games and losing in the divisional series to the Red Sox in 18 is not acceptable.
Right.
Because it wasn't back then. So, yes, they're competing with their history.
But,
and they're going to continue to lose until they win a championship, because that's the only thing that's the victor when you're comparing them to their history.
First, you got to get there. You haven't been there in over a decade, let alone win one. So I think, if the Yankees made the World Series, you're still going to be pissed if
Craig,
they lose it.
I'm not saying this as a trash-talking statement. I'm not. I'm saying this to prove a point. The New York Mets have been to a World Series more recently than the Yankees.
I know. It's a good thing for the Yankees they didn't win it. Because you'd be some obnoxious people. I'd be right there with you, though.
I don't know.
I never would have jumped ship to the Yankees.
I don't know about that. I don't
never
know
would have happened.
What winning a championship does to you. I have no idea. I've never experienced it.
I know what it does to you. It makes you horny.
So you think I'm going to be really horny if the Nets win a title?
Yeah, but it's like I want it right now, horny, and then you want more. And that's the problem. It's like a drug.
So you think days after winning a title, I'm going to say, give me more.
Yeah, because you're a selfish fan, like all fans
We'll
are.
see.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I mean, I think you're going to be in delirium for a while.
God.
And I think your entire fandom
changes
for all your teams changes.
I think that's possible.
The day any one of your team wins a championship.
I think it's very possible.
I think that is the case.
God,
I think you become a different guy.
I can't wait to
more
find
likable,
out.
less negative, less argumentative.
So if all of that's true, you should be the biggest Net fan in the world starting tonight.
I can't, because I love that. See, like the way I view you, and you may disagree with me, the Mets are your favorite team. The Jets are your second favorite team. The Nets are your third favorite team, probably close, though. And the Islanders are your fourth. That's how I kind of rank your fandom. For me, the Knicks are my number one and always have been.
So you can't live in a world where the Nets win the title?
I cannot support, endorse, or live in a world in which the Brooklyn, that you come in here on a random Wednesday wearing your Brooklyn Nets championship
Random Wednesday?
hoodie.
I'm going to wear it every freaking day.
Yeah, I can't live in that world.
I'm going to go home every night, wash it, and then wear it again. So for anyone that doesn't like Craig, and there's a lot of people who listen but don't like you, I think out of respect.
Really? I thought they all lived on Twitter. My bad.
All need to join me, even if you're not a Net fan, in rooting for that journey. Because it's going to make him miserable.
Listen, I'll tell you this.
Miserable.
I think we're both playing postseason basketball. I do.
Dude, don't bug me with postseason basketball.
I think we're both playing postseason basketball.
No. I've experienced plenty of postseason basketball.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm looking for.
Well, as you learned last year.
You're going to get a date. I don't need a date.
Goodbye, SNYs. Peace out. Thank you, Grubba.
I need the whole thing.
Evan,
The
listen,
whole thing.
As I mentioned to you a year ago.
Whole thing.
Once you get into the postseason, it's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot.
Has your AC busted, computer crashed, appliance broken? Then you need ARW, American Residential Warranty.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
Home appliance repairs and replacement can cause stress and cost you over $3,000.